The commie wave just hit the Bible Belt.
Hey, do you run?
Hi, yeah, I do. My mouth about my campaign. Hi, I'm Nikayla Jasmine Thomas, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate seat for Oklahoma. I am a Black, white, and Native American woman. I am a autism mom, military spouse, nurse, and a Chickasaw Native.
The commies just won in Oklahoma.
I'm here to demonstrate my tribe's cultural craft of a cornhusk doll.
Today was the first ever mask hours at the Exploratorium in San Francisco. It felt like a wonderful fever dream and glimpse into what our world could look like if everyone was working to reduce the spread of viruses.
Inside the trans mask movement.
I mask for a number of reasons. The world smells really unpleasant, and it hurts my throat.
Americans missing as flash floods rock Asia.
Tonight's Jesse Watters Primetime went from a Senate campaign announcement that sounded like a speedrun through a social media biography, to a 7-minute abs explanation of socialism, to a masked party that looked like AI. And then the mood changed completely. An alarming security case involving President Trump's golf course, followed by catastrophic flooding in the Himalayas and hundreds of people reported missing. It was funny, tense, and heartbreaking all in one broadcast, but beneath every segment was the same question: are America's institutions still in control, or are the outsiders now driving the conversation?
Hey, do you run?
Hi, yeah, I do. My mouth about my campaign. Hi, I'm Nikayla Jasmine Thomas, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate seat for Oklahoma. And I am a Black, white, and Native American woman. I am a autism mom, military spouse, nurse, and a Chickasaw Native. And I am fighting for education, LGBTQIAs, fair immigration rights, and fair wages. Any questions else? No? Okay, I gotta go.
That is Nikayla Jasmine Thomas, a nurse, military spouse, autism mom, and Chickasaw Nation citizen who just won Oklahoma's Democratic U.S. Senate runoff. She defeated attorney Jim Priest and now advances to the general election against Republican Kevin Hunt. Watters immediately turned her unconventional campaign videos into comedy. They are messy, casual, and completely different from the polished candidate reels produced by Washington consultants. But here is the part Republicans should not laugh away. Thomas won.
I'm here to demonstrate my tribe's cultural craft of a cornhusk doll, and also talking about tribal sovereignty. Tribal nations have a right to self-governance. A U.S. senator doesn't get to step in and pick sides or force outcomes. I'm here at Bobo's on the east side, and look at what it is at night. No one's ever been afraid of being on the east side at night because this is my stomping ground. This is where I be. Right here at Bobo's, I just got me a 4-piece tender with fries and extra honey sauce, honey drizzle. Please don't play with me. Your favorite Senate candidate is out here. Yes, sir. What y'all know about Bobo's? Play with me, don't play with me.
So she started out as a white lady on a jog, then turned into an Indian in a cornfield. Now she's eating fried chicken at Bobo's. It gets better. Jasmine let us come inside of her bedroom. But it's not what you think.
That victory speech explains the larger story. According to the program, Thomas had very little campaign cash and was outspent. The establishment did not treat her like the favorite, yet voters chose her anyway. Oklahoma remains extremely difficult for any Democrat, and Hearn enters the general election with a major advantage. Still, the result fits a pattern. Progressive outsiders are beating better-funded candidates. Democrats now have nominees who energize the base but may be harder to sell in November. Republicans may benefit, but only if they explain the policy consequences instead of relying on insults and viral clips. Florida Democrats nominated Angie Nixon after she defeated establishment-backed Alexander Vindman. Michigan Democrats chose Abdul El Sayed after a bitter and expensive primary. Now Oklahoma Democrats have nominated Thomas. 3 states, 3 candidates running against the machine. Watters calls it a socialist wave, supporters call it a grassroots correction. Either way, the old formula, raise the most money, collect endorsements, and wait for voters to fall in line, is failing.
Habibi, if you can't say the name, don't say the name. Abdul. We gotta say it like that, man. It's creepy. Abdul. Holds on to the L a little too long. Abdul. Try Abdurrahman.
A lot of people like to ask, well, how many trillions of dollars is it going to be? The better question is this: how many tens of thousands of dollars is it going to be for the average family?
Abdul's like a car salesman who's like, don't worry about how much it's going to cost. Think about how much you're going to save by not walking. Time is money. Abdul doesn't even know how much the federal budget is, or that his Medicare for All plan is going to cost more than half of that. Democrats are so thirsty for a win that they don't care.
That answer is the opening Republicans will attack through November. When a candidate proposes Medicare for all, voters deserve two numbers: what it costs the government and what it costs or saves the average household. Supporters say families would save on premiums, deductibles, and medical bills. Critics say taxes would rise, private plans could disappear, and Washington would gain more control. One slogan cannot settle that debate. Then Dan Bongana delivered the funniest analogy of the night.
Welcome to the hottest party in America. No mask, no entry. COVID's over, but the queer crew's still quarantining. It's not a handful of holdouts, it's a masked up mob. At dinner, at concerts, on the dance floor. They call themselves the Clean Air Cuties. They're in every blue city in the country. Ground zero, San Francisco, obviously.
Today was the first ever mask hours at the Exploratorium in San Francisco. It felt like a wonderful fever dream and glimpse into what our world could look like if everyone was working to reduce the spread of viruses. It was especially lovely to see kids doing such a good job about masking and parents working to protect them.
Yes, that footage is real. The Exploratorium in San Francisco offered a limited mask-required session from 9 to 11 in the morning for immunocompromised visitors. During normal public hours, masks were not required. That context matters. A short accessibility window is not a citywide mandate. But the segment moved into a broader subculture of masked concerts, shopping hours, and COVID-conscious social spaces. For some, the mask is about infection risk. For others, it has become a comfort object or barrier against anxiety, smells, and unwanted interaction. Wada sees this as evidence that part of the country never psychologically left the pandemic. Sage Stulla called it a mental health problem. That is an opinion, not a diagnosis, but there is a serious issue beneath the jokes. Isolation and fear can become identities.
Water. A massive flood wiped out everything in its path for almost 40 miles. Villages, roads, power plants, all gone. The wall of water stood 300 feet tall. Scientists are racing to figure out what set it off. But now some are saying a massive glacier sitting at 17,000 feet broke loose, plunging nearly 4,000 feet straight down into a river on the border of Nepal and China, triggering an avalanche and a massive flood. The debris was a mix of ice and rock and mud, as wide as 6 football fields. When it first hit, it was so big, Nepal thought it was an earthquake. One expert said the satellite imagery looked like a bomb had gone off. The falling glacier jammed the river, forming a natural dam.
Then came the most devastating story of the broadcast. An ice and rock avalanche near the Nepal-Tibet border appears to have created a natural dam. When it failed, water, mud, boulders, and debris tore through communities and infrastructure. Current reports put the combined death toll near 160, with hundreds missing, including dozens of Americans. Those numbers may change as rescuers reach isolated areas. This was a wall of mud and debris capable of ripping apart bridges, burying vehicles, and cutting off communities. The life-saving message: move out of a flash flood's path and reach higher ground immediately. Do not stop for your car, luggage, or a phone video. Seconds can decide whether you survive. After the water passes, danger remains: unstable ground, contamination, live power lines, broken bridges, and upstream blockages. The Himalayan terrain makes rescue extremely difficult. Families are waiting for names, rescuers are racing against time, and entire communities will have to rebuild long after the footage disappears. So what tied tonight's episode together? Institutions under pressure. Party machines are losing control of primaries. Public health trust is still fractured years after the pandemic. Presidential security is confronting disturbing new threats. And in the Himalayas, nature destroyed roads, bridges, and towns in a matter of minutes. The political segments gave us plenty to laugh about, but the final stories demanded something more: accuracy, perspective, and a little humility. Which story from tonight do you think will matter most by November? The outsider candidates reshaping the Democratic Party, or the policy debate their victories are forcing into the open? Tell us in the comments, subscribe for the next Primetime Breakdown, and thanks for watching.